This episode has been brought to you by JustNForm.com. If you're tired of being censored, tired of having your data stolen and sold, go to JustNForm.com, a social media site where all voices are welcome.
So, Nancy Pelosi was live this morning at the National Action Network, which is a network that was started by Reverend Al Sharpton. And I believe they were in Las Vegas. I don't know exactly where they were at, but she was live this morning addressing the crowd that is, of course, predominantly black. And she, of course, as always, as expected from the Dems as of late, she did harp on the idea of unity through races and ethnicities and POC, just POCs in general and the LGBTQ community, which is all well and good because, yeah, of course, I support that, whatever. But the reason I say whatever about that is because when it comes to people like Nancy Pelosi and those like her, substantive policy discussions are never usually held immediately after that conversation is started. Now, what do I mean by that? So she had a chance to make sure that everyone knew what the Democrats were going to do in 2018, 2019, and 2020. She had a chance to make it known that they were going to have an overwhelmingly progressive agenda, and if they continued to pursue that agenda, they would have undoubtedly won the House back and won the Senate and even potentially the presidency come 2020. But that's not what she decided to do. Guess what she decided to do, people? Nancy Pelosi decided to make it known that there will be no single payer on the agenda. There will be no Medicare for all on the agenda. In fact, she said, and I quote, that they will be trying to introduce legislation to quote unquote reduce prescription drug prices. And as far as the big money in politics, she made it clear that they will not be getting big money out of politics, but they will reduce its influence with their bill HR 1. I don't know if the Democrats are ever going to learn, people. I really don't. They're never going to win with this half-assed progressive agenda. They take sound bites from some of the things we say. They try to weave it into their rhetoric, but then I wouldn't even call it a half step. They don't even half step us. They don't even give us half of what we want as progressives. Instead, they pull this bullshit. I'm tired of the half-assed effort. I don't care if the people of color are the ones that are primarily affected by the lack of healthcare coverage anyway. So then you go in their face and tell them once again, yeah, we know that you're affected mostly by all of the negative consequences of big money in politics, of a lack of healthcare, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Corporate, the corporatist oligarchical agendas that we've been seeing put forward by both the Democrats and Republicans lately. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you some pretty words, celebrate the fact that we have an overwhelmingly colorful and overwhelmingly colorful and just diverse caucus. I'm going to talk about that, but I'm not going to talk about anything substantive. I'm not going to talk about policies. I'm not going to talk about how we can use the experiences of those people of color. And first of all, why was she even speaking at this? I don't care about that. Why was she even speaking at this? Nancy Pelosi hasn't done anything for people of color, and yet Nancy Pelosi is speaking at this. This, of course, as you all probably have figured, this is because she is opting in to be Speaker of the House. Now, there have been people to speak out against this, and I hope that they continue to, because Nancy Pelosi is not the answer. So until they are going to start talking about a single payer, healthcare driven medical agenda. I don't want to reduce medical costs. There shouldn't be medical costs. I don't want to reduce the cost of prescription drugs. There shouldn't be any prescription drug costs outside of maybe $4 or $5. They handle administrative fees. So you better start listening, Nancy, or you're going to lose the House again. And you're going to keep losing the Senate. You're going to lose the White House once again. Progressive agendas are the only agendas we care about. Populist agendas are the only agendas we care about. And oh, by the way, I heard her say absolutely nothing whatsoever about an anti-war peace agenda and an anti-war peace economy. So thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Mi Casa es Su Casa. And remember, more than anything else, people, find your balance. Peace.